Good morning. This is Buckeye Gordon. And let me first thank all 425 subscribers I have. I really do appreciate it. I also appreciate the comments, the very kind words that you've uh, expressed to me. And I also appreciate the people who, well, let's just say don't like me very well. That's fine. I like to hear from you as well. Let's talk about the decade of 1950. Um, what happened in the 1950s that shaped the decade? There were a few things that happened that I kind of like to talk about. First, at the beginning, 1950, in the month of June, North Korean soldiers invaded South Korea. They came across the 38th parallel, also known as a DMZ. Um, North Korea was enabled by the Soviet Union and also by China. It claimed more than 30,000 American soldiers and millions of Korean civilians. Although the war was centralized in Korea, it sent rippling effects around the world that was already trying to recover from World War II. The United States nations forces were led by, of course, United States. The conflict effectively ended in 1953. Still, we are technically at war. All we did was sign an armistice. In other words, we agreed not to shoot you if you don't shoot us. The second thing that happened was the Great Brinks robbery. On January 17th, 1950, after years of methodically planning, a squad of armed robbers bound and gagged five Brinks employees and left a building with more than $2 million. It had cash, checks, and other securities. It was the largest and most elaborate crime of its kind and was branded the crime of the century. The investigation quickly captivated the country, and the bandits evaded capture for years. Eventually, a hitman shot at Joseph Specs O'Keefe, one of the men involved in the robbery. While a deal was made with the FBI to testify against his cohorts, all were caught, and with the exception of two of them, they died before the trial started. Actually, each person was convicted of the Brinks robbery, and amazingly, only $58,000 was recovered. Credit cards. While the idea of using a card to pay for things wasn't new in 1950s, the concept of using one card at multiple stores was groundbreaking. Schneider and McNamara, founders of Diners Club, you remember that? Created a single card to consolidate all the individual cards that could only be used at issuing businesses. Today, nearly 200 million Americans have one at the ready, and the innovation created new markets. Exciting opportunities, but also tremendous risk for consumers and the companies who issued them. Music also dominated the 1950s. The 50s, Buddy Holly, Fats Domino, doo-wop of rhythm and blues music that originated in the 1940s rose to prominence along with the rise of rock and roll. Popular doo-wop artists of the 50s included the Platters. I always liked their songs. Dion and the Belmonts, um, Frankie Lyman, the Five Satins, the Flamencos, and Del Viking. Food made a lot of strides too in the 1950s. The first TV dinner was introduced in 1953 by C.A. Swanson and Sons, and the term TV dinner became synonymous with frozen package, these frozen package meals. The original TV dinner was a frozen meal on a compartment, aluminum tray with sections for meat, vegetables, and a dessert. And it was heated in the oven. It actually, when it first came out, it cost 54 cents. It then rose to 84 cents. Um, and what's really interesting, back then in the 1950s, 84 cents would be equivalent to $8 today. I thought that was interesting. TV was popular. After dinner, the family would gather around the TV. I can remember when I was growing up, we would do that. Um, I can't say we had dinner as a family because you kind of ate when you can and if you got anything, because we had a large family. My mom was cooking for 8 people, and my dad. But TV shows like I Love Lucy, the Adventure of Ozzie and Harriet, and Father Knows Best were uh, very popular back in those days. Also, one last event that took place, a very big event, maybe not to other people, but it was to my parents. Wednesday evening at 11:45, April 13, 1955, yours truly came into the world. I was born April 13, 1955 at 11:45 p.m. My first name, Gordon, I was actually named after the minister that married my parents. I can remember my dad telling me they didn't have no money, so he used a cigar, uh, the little ring, paper ring they put on the cigar. That's what he used to put on my mom's finger. I tell you, that's love. If you're going to get married with a cigar ring, apparently he got her a ring later because I could always remember her wearing the wedding ring. But I just thought I'd let you know a few things about the 1950s. If you would, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button right now. Hit that like button right now. If you would, share this with your friends and family. Next video I do will be about the 1960s, which was very a turmoil time of decade here in America. And I really hope you don't miss that. And I want to thank you. And I hope you guys have a rest of your day.